Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Jack Daniels Friday and the Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Eric Cedarstrom, and we're broadcasting live from the Cave Springs Hollow next to the Still, hanging out with Lem Motlow. This show is brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group. Legal, lawful, constitutional tender gold and silver. The world is beating a path to the door as the people are trying to figure out where we go next, what happens as a society, what happens to America, what happens to the world. You can protect your tomorrows with something that wasn't born yesterday. Call 1-800-951-0592, or you can head out to our website at allamericangold.com. It's updated daily with pricing, news, views, but in reality, people love to call the 800-9. We love to talk to you. I learn from you as you learn from I. I'm joined with the president of said company, Joe Jaquint. It's an amazing day, amazing times, amazing is about the word of the day. You know, there was two things that you could count on, and we all learned it. And we all know what that is. There are two things in this life that you can count on: death and taxes. But I got to tell you, the latter of the two might be fading for Americans into the sunset. I mean, you know, we talked about they want to suspend sales taxes. Now we've got income tax has been delayed. They're talking about delaying it again. Now Kudlow was on TV talking about giving people money, not unemployment, but money, bonuses to go back to work. Joe Jaquint, all-around nice guy. It's Friday. His shoulder's bothering him again. Welcome to the 50s. How you holding up?
The preamble to the 50s sucks. Let me tell you that right now.
They say 57 is when you become decrepit. That's the 57
if
is the new 40.
If you've seen me, my 49, almost 50 is probably really 57.
You do have a 50th coming up. So.
Yeah. We're closing in on that way too fast. You know, I just saw on Market Watch a headline pass. If they don't extend the $600 extra payment on unemployment, it's going to cost us even more jobs. So here you go. Wall Street's starting to come along, just like we told you. You know, they're just getting it into first gear here, Eric. They're revving up for it.
It's what we need. So talk about getting old. I mean, I'm just celebrated 60. It'll be 61 here in 60 days or so. But I had to go to the doctor, get my ribs checked out. For you people just learning, I broke 3 ribs February 15th. And they still hurt. And the doctor, to go see a doctor now, you can't go in. They got a big sign, stop, do not come in. Of course, I told you the doctor told me when I made the receptionist, when I made the appointment, says we don't allow sick people in the doctor's office. I'm like, oh, okay, well, good. Well, I'm not sick. So you have to stop when you go in. You have to have a mask on, and then you have to wait for them to come out. And then they ask you a series of questions. Have you traveled, blah, 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 blah. You know, you learn right off from the first one. Just answer no.
Do you have any fruits and vegetables in that car?
Right. I got a spider monkey in the back. Does that count? That damn monkey. So, but then they put the thing right on your head, which is the first time it's happened to me.
Oh, you got touched.
They touch you with the temporal thermometer. She looks at me and she goes, "You're 98.7. Come on in." So how about that? Turns out that I'm 60. My ribs are fine. So anyway, thank you for everybody. And the emails from yesterday's show, you know, this is a touchy subject. People, the masking, the more loss of American freedoms in this country. What's a lie? What isn't a lie? It is not easy to tell. One thing that I can tell you for a fact that I never thought I'd see, a bunch of snot-nosed Antifa punks rioting, burning a police station. And the cops just stand there and let it happen in Minneapolis. You know, on the license plate it says land of 10,000 elected liberals. And that's what it is. Joe, how's that happen? How does that happen? How do you burn a police station?
This is what's wrong with government. This is the problem. And I'm going to say this, and I told you this already. I don't blame the people a minute. Enough's enough already, right? Enough's enough. As far as what's been happening and with the police, you know, it's got to stop. It's got to come to an end. But they're going to regret burning that police station down because the people of that community that, you know, that's where the evidence is. That's where the case files are, right? I mean, you know, probably not the greatest. I understand the symbolicness of it. But, again, it also shows you how inept the government really is. It's not like this was the first night, right? They knew this was coming. The lack of planning, how the mayor of Minneapolis didn't have called the governor and had every available police officer there to try to, contain the crowds and have the National Guard out and all that. It's beyond me. It baffles the mind, and these people are upset, and rightfully so.
I can't believe that they know they can run amok. They know they can run amok, and nothing will happen. Trump tweeted this morning. Let me see who it was. It was back in '67. Walter Headley, a line that he used, and Trump tweeted. From the race riots in '67, he tweeted this morning, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. And it should be that way. You can't burn down city buildings. They need to open fire on them, and it'll put an end to all of this. Tough statement, isn't it? What do? You can let your city burn? What are all the taxes for? If they know nothing will happen, they can't stop it. How about the kid who shot up Westgate Mall last week? He's in the paper today. We got to feel sorry for him because he wanted to get some respect and he was tired of being bullied. That's his defense.
How old was this person?
Some teenage kid who shot up the mall. They need to hang him on television. He needs to be hung on execution TV. We're going to put an end to all of this. They used to do it. You could go to Prescott in the town square on Saturday and they hung bank robbers. They need to do it again. You're going to shoot up a mall, you get to hang on TV. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be back. They should bring back public hangings. Bring them into the squares. I know it won't ever happen. The commies will hang us. There's no doubt about that when they take over. But, they got to do something. You just, it's not a race thing. I don't care what color it is. If you look, it's still mostly the Antivas with they'd have masks on now, but now everybody wears masks. So they would have their masks on and they'd be running amok. You've all seen the videos and, looting stores. The police are just letting it happen. It's never guessed it possible in these United States of America. So Larry Kudlow, he's made a couple of statements today. One, he was talking that if you go back to work, instead of the $600 a week, which he says is, disincentivizing people to go back to work, he's calling the $600 a week unemployment. The White House now is weighing a new bonus payment for people who do go back to work, leading to potentially a 20% growth in the second half. The $600, I think, was a mistake, he said. I think that was something of a disincentive. He called Greg Kelly reports on Newsmax. It may have been necessary, and I don't want to be so critical, and it may have been necessary in March and April and even May. But I think when it runs out here at the end of July, we will not be renewed. And by the way, the CDC's prediction for this weekend, for the end of this month, that we'd have 200,000 active cases per day. They missed it by a little bit. We've got 20,000. And again, I'm not saying whether they're true or not. I'm just saying that's the reported number. So they missed it by,
they just had
90%,
1 0 too many.
Yeah. So in that case, but again, I am a catastrophist, and the glass is not half empty. The glass is a very low quality. It is cracked and made in China, and is leaking.
It's been run through the dishwasher one time too many.
That is how I look at things, and I think we are in for unprecedented times in this country because, you can't have freedom without prosperity. And I've said that many times. You can't have it. In other words, if you can't make a living and you can't feed your family and you can't go about your business and have a sense of self-worth, and now you're going to rely on the government to take care of you, that we are heading into very, very, very dark times. And I know there's glimmer of hope and growth now, and the nation's economy is trying to get reopened. I get all of that, but we haven't peaked in any way, shape, or form in unemployment, ladies and germs. And the numbers coming in now are just horrible. It's still unbelievable how they can try to spin this as good news. I can't wait for Monday. I know, I'll be waiting with bated breath to see which company has the vaccine for next
the new
Monday.
vaccine.
Yeah.
They've got it planned out. Have you noticed? Only one company a week seems to have one.
Yeah, they have a huddle. I'm telling you. So and they make tons of money. I mean, the stock rallies, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, the company de jour, and then all the executives sell it. I got to tell you, I'm having a tough time. I mean, I've got the, what do they call them, side hustles? I got a side hustle, the 10-foot pole business, because it's just something, it's who I am, we've got 10-foot poles, and then, of course, the 6-foot poles guys came out, So now, but I think I'm okay. Last night they had Dave Ramsey on. Dave Ramsey does the radio show.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay off your Subaru and
everybody eat rice and beans.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, all his listeners are dead broke. My neighbor took on millions of debt, bought and sold 80 homes, has a Ferrari and a yacht. I've only got 2 more payments left on my Subaru. What's funny is he's got, the typical scumbag gold dealer commercial. I heard him. I'm quit, Joe. I'm not working for you anymore. This company apparently has $500 of free silver. You just have to call them. I mean, these are the nicest people on earth. Somehow they get silver for free. They must have. I mean, it's amazing. How else could you get free silver? Oh, by the way, I've got a new politically correct directive for all you people. The state of New York has outlawed the word alien.
Oh, that's outlawed.
Yes, it's in their public script, non-citizen. So you people keeping track at home. So
who thought of that one? I wonder. I mean, what is that going to cost to reprint everything the state of New York has to say non-citizen instead of alien?
I guess that's it. So we don't want to offend anybody. You know what nobody talks about?
I mean, you've offended pretty much everybody. And we've only been on the air for like 18 minutes today.
You are all equally in trouble with me. So, you know what nobody talks about? The non-citizens here and the tremendous problem with water shortage that's coming. One of the Ahwatukee golf courses had to close 2 years ago because their water bill was $700,000 a year. So, I mean, figure that one out. So this is where we're heading.
Decided to build that golf course.
There's just no way. You look at the people, there's just no way. They never talk about it.
They keep coming.
They keep coming. Everybody keeps coming. The whole country's going to tip over. I think we should put a tax on New Yorkers and Californians that want to move here, but my wife is busy as can be. I mean, the people are coming. They're coming to Arizona. I mean, the sunshine apparently is where you want to be, and a little social distancing, even though the East Coast builders have been out here now for years building high-density housing. They're trying to build high-rises.
Well, they're not trying
to.
They've done them.
Yeah,
They've done it.
Herb Drinkwater was the mayor, and I went to school with his children, and Scottsdale was just an amazing place to live. I mean, amazing place to grow up, and we were lucky to do it. They used to close the schools for the Parada del Sol rodeo. Oh, by the way, the largest rodeo in the world canceled. In Cheyenne. Largest car show in the world, Hershey, Pennsylvania, canceled. I mean, it's just the country that we're in.
Don't worry, that's going to have no economic impact whatsoever.
But Herb Drinkwater, God rest his soul, wouldn't allow buildings. They could only be a certain height. I think it was 30 feet. And that was it. So you could see the mountains and you could see everything. And I'm sure he's rolling over in his grave. So... anyway, I started with the 10-foot pole business, and now they went down to 6 feet, so I had to get a PPP to support my 10-foot pole. Now, Dave Ramsey says don't take it. If they've offered you the PPP, don't take it, because the government is changing the rules on paying it back. So nothing is set in stone. The government's going to come in. They could literally take over or nationalize all the businesses that they've loaned money to, according to Dave Ramsey, which he may be right. But now, mounting evidence, I'm feeling good, ladies and germs, mounting evidence about the transmission of the coronavirus suggested that the 6-foot social distancing guidelines recommended by the WHO, Tommy, can you hear me? I'm sorry, the World Health Organization, are incorrect. 6 feet is just not going to do it.
That's too close.
6 feet is now too close. So call the 10-foot pole business. They're still saying that, this was, remember the first one that came out that if you sneeze, the viri can, in tiny aerosol particles float in the atmosphere. So nobody knows how far. That was the question I had. If you're driving down the road and you've got your window down and the guy in front of you sneezes, and you're doing 70 miles an hour, and he sneezes out his window. Do you get it? I mean, because you've seen people driving around with masks, which I don't get, all by yourself in a car. So, I don't know. It's Jack Daniels Friday. We are in Cave Spring Hollow. If you don't know what that is, you'll have to look it up, but I think that's where I read it on the side of the bottle that was here. People bring us back Jack Daniels bottles. We literally have them here, and one of our great customers shipped us a box of Jack with a bunch of Cokes in it. Who was that?
Cheeto Ed.
Cheeto Ed. Thanks, brother. So we appreciate it. God knows we need it. So the economic front, they're talking about another gold confiscation. Is that right, Joe? You're telling me something about that is in the or the gold-backed currency that's coming. And now they talked about how the gold in New York, yes, somehow they've been shipping billions and billions and billions of dollars of gold to New York vaults so the COMEX can trade, because we're setting record volumes. Never before ever. I mean, and it's literally multiplied by 10 has the open interest been so high in gold and silver. I mean, it's just amazing. And they're trying to tell us that, oh, yeah, we've got it in our vaults. Because if you buy a paper contract, and you can do it on what they call leverage, you can do the futures markets on leverage. Usually, if you're going to work with a futures broker, they're going to require a 20% equity in a futures. And I think a minimum contract on gold is 100 ounces. So you do 100 ounces at, what is that, 170,000. You put 20% down, $34,000. Well, I'm doing this all in my head. My brain's starting to come back. As long as you keep a 20% equity in that account, that you're allowed to leave that open. Now, if the market moves negative, they call it a margin call, and you have to restore that equity back to 20%. Of course, minus commissions, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as the futures contract rolls up into the date certain delivery month, I believe is the proper verbiage on that, then you have an option, and when it expires, to sell it or take delivery. Now, supposedly that they're supposed to have this metal on hand in the vaults so they can honor all these contracts that they've been selling of open interest. What's interesting, and if you go back to the crash of 08, 09, and 2011, that at one point, one day, in silver, the New York COMEX traded more silver than had ever been mined since the beginning of time in one day. And nobody thought to ask, do you really think that's all in the vault? Wouldn't they need a vault about the size of the state of Rhode Island?
So it'd have to be really tall.
Yeah,
not just just a state like 1 story high. You'd have to have Rhode Island about 80 stories high.
So that is the little dark secret that
don't tell anybody.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about. Yeah, sure, you can take delivery. We got tons and tons, literally, of these things.
By the way, gold and silver flying again today. Gold's up almost $25. Silver up another 50 cents per ounce. And again, I told you, silver will start loosening up after it cracks 20. Still very, very difficult to get. Premiums on Silver Eagles are way, way up there. But right now, silver at almost $18.50. So we're closing in, Eric. I think that we'll start seeing some silver come available after it breaks 20.
Well, the premiums are just sky high on U.S. Silver Eagles. I mean, it's just crazy, and the distributors won't touch them.
They won't touch them.
They won't touch them. So
this is the problem. I mean, you're talking about premiums where the distributors would have to pay $6.50 over spot to get them, and then they got to charge us, and then everybody's out there. They're charging. You want Silver Eagles today? They want to charge you $28 to $30 a coin. I mean, it's crazy.
You know what is happening, though? The old Morgan dollars that we've been recommending you people add onto your portfolios are really starting to move. They're starting to vanish. The reason we recommend the U.S. legal tender market and the older markets is because you're dealing with a finite supply. They can still spit out 2020 Eagles, Silver Eagles, all they want, make millions of them. Nobody knows wherever they get it from. It's supposed to be American silver. It's written in the U.S. Mint bylaws, but That's another dirty little secret nobody talks about.
I think it was it Clinton's? No, maybe it wasn't Clinton. Somebody scrapped that, I thought. And they said, okay, well, we actually don't have enough silver to make that work. And so now I think they can get it from other places.
And they can't call the used coin factory and go,
Right.
yeah, make me some 1885 Morgans. Now people try it. But the material that we're dealing with, the supply can never change. I mean, and so you've just got so much more money that's been created. And silver, I'm always a gold guy, and I recommend silver for day-to-day expenditures. When we construct portfolios, we put them together under the guise that you may actually have to use them to function in a hyperinflated or collapsed economy, which we're certainly staring down the barrel of one of those, maybe both. And that's why you want to hold incremental material. Never before in the history of the world has that been more important than what we're doing now. We'll be back after these messages.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily look at the significant issues of our time from an experienced conservative perspective. Sponsored by Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, this broadcast continues the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly and stands against forces that mock traditional values, slander America, and redefine the family. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Imagine you had to sleep in the back room of your workplace because people in your apartment had COVID-19. As you sleep peacefully in this unfamiliar place, you're startled awake at 4:30 a.m. by a deafening noise. It sounds like a shotgun. You peek out of the room to see 3 masked men ransacking your store. Then you look down at the registered pistol resting beside you. What would you do? This isn't some pointless hypothetical. This was a very real situation that Hamza Abu Sharia of Arlington, Virginia found himself in. Hamza courageously chose to fire 3 shots to scare off the intruders. One of the intruders was wounded by the shots, but they all fled. You probably aren't surprised to hear that someone was hauled off to jail after this encounter, but you might be surprised to hear who. That's right, Hamza, the innocent store clerk who fired 3 warning shots to scare off the intruders, was sent to jail without bail. He faces as much as 20 years in prison for defending himself. Police told him that he should have tried to sneak out the back rather than fire upon the intruders. The only problem with this advice was that the criminal's stuff was sitting outside the back door. If Hamza went that way, he probably would have ended up shooting at them anyway. This didn't matter in the eyes of the law. Democrats act like self-defense laws are an excuse for white people to hunt down and kill innocent minorities, but the facts of this case don't jive with that narrative. Who's more likely to need a gun for self-defense, a rich white guy or a poor minority store clerk sleeping in the back room of a shop in a bad neighborhood? Hamza Abu Sharia can answer that question for you. Not giving him the means to defend himself is discrimination at its worst. People who live in nicer neighborhoods, so-called low-crime areas, have a right to defend themselves too, but they're not as likely to have to exercise that right. After all is said and done, if we want to protect innocent poor people living in high-crime areas, we shouldn't send them to jail for defending themselves.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report with Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. It's time to hear the truth, not the media lies, about gun rights. At phyllisschlafly.com, we've got strategies to protect American citizens, protect ourselves, and protect the Second Amendment. For the latest on the constitutionally protected right to bear arms, go to phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Eric Cedarstrom. It's Friday. I hope you're looking to get unlocked down and get out there and mosh it up with the rest of the world this weekend. So the world is still spinning, and we're all just merely trying to figure out on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute what's really happening, because it's such a dichotomy of opinions out there, and we're doing our best. I'm doing my best to get it out to you the way that I see it. And let's face it, everybody's entitled to my opinion. So kick back and relax. I saw a commercial for a fish company last night on the television that says, yes, before we fish, we check local populations to make sure that we're not depleting. We're checking the environment before we actually catch fish. Yeah, you think that's true? Have you ever seen a commercial fish trawler? I've actually worked on commercial fishing boats when those trawlers come through for, just pick a fish stick company, there is one, the nets are bigger
Uncle Ben.
10 football fields, and they take everything, man. I mean everything. They don't care. Dolphins, cut them up. We'll make fish sticks out of them. So, I mean, it's terrible. And I see this piece of junk commercial. Yes, we are really worried about if you're really worried about the environment, should you be out catching fish sticks at all? Go find a business, doing something else. Take your trawlers and clean plastic out of the ocean. UPS is breaking precedents, doing something they've never done before. They are now adding a surcharge on all their deliveries. Here comes the inflation.
I'm telling you right now, restaurants are doing it, airlines, UPS, FedEx. It's going to be the new normal, right? Everything's going to be. Well, we talk about it all the time. You ever get a rental car or a hotel room, and it doesn't matter. We make fun of California. Arizona does it too. Everybody does it, right? It's $99 a night, and by the time you get the bill, you're paying $200.
And they're adding these charges on to Amazon. They're just they've been letting them get away too cheap. Of course, meanwhile, the post office has lost $4.5 billion in the first quarter of this year.
They need a bailout.
They need another bailout. You know who else needs a bailout? Amtrak. Again, Amtrak, they're a publicly funded company, right? A train, I don't know why. I mean, why we pay? They have a $2 billion a year government grant they get every year. This year's not enough. There's a small problem with the numbers traveling. They're down a little, Joe. The passenger count so far is down 90%. So they can't get anyone to get on the train.
Just like the airlines. Chevron today announced they're going to be making massive layoffs as well. Atlanta, the GDP, Atlanta Federal Reserve, they have the best GDP tracker. They try to forecast. Right now, they just updated it this morning. Second quarter GDP, it's going to be down just a little bit, Eric. 51.4% to the negative.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
GDP down 51%?
Half.
Wow.
Half. And that sounds about right to me.
Well, it would have to be. They shut everything down. I still don't think what you're witnessing is unprecedented, regardless of loss, cost, or value. I mean, even if half the country gets coronavirus between now and a year from now, I don't think they'll ever do it again. Ever. I mean, you can't. And I mean, of course, let me reiterate that. It depends on what liberal gets in office, too, and where you live.
And again, you can make any number look any way you want. Look at Wall Street. Now, obviously, didn't rally yesterday. It's not rallying today. But they're rallying on this news about the future, right? Well, it's going to come back, and the jobs are going to come back, and we're going to have the V-shaped recovery, right? This is what V-shaped. We did the same thing with the coronavirus. We let these same morons come out with these quote-unquote projections, like you said earlier in the broadcast. If you let the whole country open up, we're going to have 200,000 cases a day. Well, the whole country's opened up, and we got 20,000.
Yeah, they missed it a little bit.
You see what I'm saying? And this is the problem.
Well, I'll tell you, it's just crazy, too. Also, for you people, if you're like me, I usually take one look at junk mail and pitch it. Be careful what you're throwing away now, because you might throw away your stimulus payment. Get this. The U.S. Treasury Department announced this week that it has began sending out economic impact payments as prepaid debit cards. Finally, 4 million Americans are still waiting for their slice of the $2.2 trillion CARES Act and expect to get their stimulus money in the form now. They will get it as an EIP card. EIP.
Instead of EBT.
EIP, electronic something. I don't know. The problem is these Visa cards are being misused by MetaBank, the Treasury's financial agents. MetaBank, have you heard of them?
No.
Well, apparently this is the bank that's issuing the cards now. So you think now that they've given up on mailing checks,
a little surcharge on,
right? So they got a bank making money on this, but you figure this that. I mean, they finally figured out that rather than print up and murder more trees to send out the stimulus checks, which, by the way, financial analysts are saying that we will need to cut stimulus checks for the next 5 years. 5 years they're calling this pandemic social impact here. 5 years.
Let's name a program that the government has started that they stopped doing. Right? Look at the Fed's balance sheet. Remember, we ran it up to $4.5 trillion. And remember, they were supposed to be selling off the balance sheet. Right now, of course, where are we? Who knows? 7, 8, 10, 15 trillion? We don't know. Right? Look, food stamps, you name it, any type of program like this, they never go away, Eric. And now I'm scared about the debit card thing because you know what that means?
That means they plan on reloading them.
Right. Everyone's going to have your debit card, right? That's what it's going to be here in the future. I can see it now. Here's your Please Don't Riot card today.
Well, please don't riot. That's right. So don't go in and steal things at Target. We'll just reload your card.
Well,
and you can go in and buy them.
Another thing. We talked about the rioting earlier, right? They want to get to the whole, video everything, know your identity just from picking you off, and imagine the ability of the government to be able to say, hey, wait a minute, that was you in that Target, or that was you in the police station. Your account is frozen.
Well, the problem is, they're saying these Visa cards are being issued by MetaBank, the Treasury's financial agent, and delivered in plain envelopes from the Money Network cardholder services.
You ought to have thrown that away.
Yeah, these people are throwing them out, neither of which is a familiar name for most of us. Yes, they now have privatized these stimuli. So reports of people mistaking these pre-approved credit card as junk mail have been popping up across the country, and in some cases, people have been throwing them out.
Again, another government agency not knowing what they do. And again, if the words are, we're from the government, we're here to help, you should run.
So you people better stay in line so they can reload your EIP. I don't even know what it stands for.
I want to try to find out.
See if you can. Electronic payment. I'm going to guess. I just can't figure out what the acronym in the middle, the initial in the middle stands for. Oh, here it is.
Economic impact payment.
There it is. Yeah. I used to ask my parents when I was a kid for economic impact payments. They used to go, get a job. Yeah, they did. It was terrible growing up. I need counseling. We'll be back after these messages. Stay with us if you can take it. Greg Olman. You're listening to Patriot Radio News Hour. American Cedars Drum. Love us or hate us, we get to do this 5 days a week. 25 years has been going on. We thank everybody for allowing us into your lives. We're live here on Family Values Radio, KXXT, 1010 AM in the Valley of the Sun, and up there with the Children of the Corn at 1360 KHNC, the roar of the Rockies, Johnstown, Colorado. I believe our signal up there is running full blast. We were getting wall-to-wall, treetop tall up in southern Wyoming and out into western Nebraska, thanks to all our rural listeners, customers. Man, we appreciate it. We really do. So it's just a great day to be alive for all of us that are left surviving the pandemic. And also, go to YouTube. You go to our YouTube, Patriot Radio News Hour. Separate the words. It's not one word. I know you actually have to, spell. Then you can go there and you can like us. You become a member, which we've gone just parabolic. The numbers are rising quickly. And they'll email this show to you.
They'll put it right in your inbox.
Right, yep. Ramon here at 1010, he loads it in. He puts a nice little icon on it of whatever the topic du jour is, and he's really doing a great job. So go to our YouTube channel, become a member there. Just click member, and bang, they'll send it straight to your email on your telephone, and you can take us camping with you and shock your friends.
Like our radio station on Facebook, 1360 KHNC. Make sure you like our radio station there, and don't forget the Boy Scouts or the Cub Scouts, the older one, whichever one's the older one, on our page, allamericangold.com. Make a $10 donation. These guys, they go to camp every summer. They used to be able to go out in front of the Safeways and the gas stations and sell those little coupon books. Because of COVID, they can't do it to raise the money. So if you guys, if you got $10, go out to allamericangold.com. The troop up there in New River, Desert Hills New River troop there. Right. We're trying to help them be able to go to camp.
Do that. Just make a little donation to the Cub Scouts. It won't kill you. The people that are left are good people. And Cliff there at Copper State Motors. Yeah, again, right at allamericangold.com. Donate, $10 to the Cub Scouts. You'll be glad you did. You'll sleep better this weekend. Help them out. It's an American icon, what's left of America. We had a caller on the line here at the front office, 1-800-951-0592, Kevin, who said he actually got his stimulus check from whatever some oddball company is with a pre-approved credit card, and he threw it out. I don't blame him. Joe said
I would have totally. I do that. So when I actually get the mail for us, we've got the community mailbox. They've got the trash can right there. I open, I get my mail, and I just walk to that trash can and start pitching the junk mail. That's just, what a lot of people do.
Yep. So you're listening to the Patriot Radio News Hour, allamericangold.com. Thanks for tuning in. We do this and have for many, many years. I founded the company, and then I sold it to Joe 5 years ago, 4 or 5. I lose track of time. And now because of COVID-19 and the influx of business, Joe I asked him for a job. He gave it to me, and I'm back working here, and I'm just glad to be part of this. And never retire. If you people are wondering if you should retire, never retire. It'll just kill you. So interesting things going on. There's some weird stuff hitting the market. How about this? Here's a 1934S, which is San Francisco peace dollar, in MS-67 condition. Somehow this coin has surfaced. It's the only one in the world in that condition. It's one of one. What do you think that coin's worth, Joe? MS-67 1934S, which is San Francisco Mint, certified NGC MS-67.
$500,000.
$118,000. See, it's good buy. One of one. And also, I saw this morning. So if you want to do that, call us 1-800. If you're the guy, and there's a lot of you ranchers up there that can easily put this on your credit card, you can have the only one. I was surprised. I saw it hit the exchange this morning. 1934 S peace dollar in MS-67. None better. Not even another one ever certified in that year and that mint mark in MS-67. Nothing higher. Just one of one. 118,000. Also, again, strange times. An 1879 O, which is a New Orleans mint, an MS-66 Morgan.
That's a Morgan, yeah.
That's a Morgan dollar, right. That's
Second
the series
year
before,
edition,
yeah. So, 1879 O, New Orleans. So, there's only 11 of these in the world. And this is surprisingly affordable. You can pick that coin up from us today for $9,500. So, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and we don't recommend rare coins unless you are collecting.
See, now, this is the difference. These are actual rare coins.
Oh, yeah, these are real
right?
rare coins.
When you call our competitors and they're trying to sell you a Mint State 62 $20 Liberty for $4,000 or $5,000.
Common date.
Right, the common date. Yeah, that's not rare.
Well, it's interesting you'd bring that up because right here, I've got, how many are here?
15.
These are here and live. I'm looking at them. These are old. We handled these years and years ago. I don't know how
actually
long.
From us from the 90s.
From the 90s. These coins came back to us yesterday. That's the great thing about being in business and being able to survive as long as we have. These are MS-62 Liberties. That's Series 1866, 1907, certified NGC. Now, any other dealer would take these because these are from these certs. These are 20-plus, maybe 25-year-old certs because the grading standards were so high back then that I could probably take a saw and bust these out and send them into recert. They're
probably all
great.
Certified 63s. You may even get a 64 out of it.
Maybe even a 5. So these are just unprecedented. The low, you look at the certification numbers are 7 digits. Do you know now certified coins are in the tens of millions? They're 12, 15-digit cert numbers, so very old. I think I can look that up too.
And the funny thing that's happened in the graded Liberty market used to be the Saints and the Libs always run together. And starting in Mint State 63, the Liberties would be worth more and more because you just don't get that many in that condition because the Liberties are the older coins. But now the 62 market too. Now it's all the way to 62s. They're running $50, $60, $70 a piece more than a Saint.
Well, I'll give you a price on these when we get back. These will be the cheapest in the country. What a great day. Keep adding to your portfolio because, again, barring a vaccine, which even with a vaccine, the damage has been done. there's a lot of people right now that are better off financially than they were because of COVID, because of the money that's been handed out, because these businesses were already going under. So, I mean, you've got major, I don't have to tell you that, major issues. We'll be back. Stay with us. Patriot Radio News Hour, man. Thanks for tuning in. Final segment. Whew, I'm tired. It was a short week, but crazy week in here. So,
well, you look at it, it's been a lot of going on all over the place. In an hour, a little over an hour from now, the president is going to be holding a press conference talking about China. This is going to get awfully interesting. The Dow down over 300 points already. Very worried. Matter of fact, call it 400 now. Just like that, Dow just dropped another 100. Gold's up $25, 17.38. Silver's up another 15 cents, 18.45. And depending on the president's tone, and his tone, let's face it, he's not real happy right now. Who knows where this could be before the day's over?
Well, you want to declare war on China, gold will go up $1,000, literally, bang. So, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I don't think yesterday,
a trade war, maybe. I don't know.
So, with the soybean thing yesterday was, right. I think that
irked a lot of people. Oh, you're not going to buy U.S. soybeans. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. So, MS62 certified NGC Liberties. They're $22.50 on our website. They're
$22.68.
$22.68. They're $2,400, $2,500, $3,500 on television. Certified and encapsulated. Best buy in the country today. Very limited numbers. $2,050. 2050. We've got a 1934 S Peace dollar for $118,000. You can get an 1879 MS66 Morgan for $9,500, or you can save a little money and get a roll of BU Morgans, 20 of them. We have come into another stash. We ran out of the Peace dollars. Actually, you can do a mini bag. We're going to leave them at mini bags of 100. They're expensive. They're $40. So, but still a great buy. It's nothing compared to where we're going. Beautiful not 21s, but pre-21s. Brilliant, uncirculated, stunning material. Late 1800s, early 1900s. You can do a mini bag for $4,000. That's 100 of them. So if you want to add a $20 certified MS62 Liberty at $2,050, I mean, listen, just keep adding to your portfolio. You tell me what's going to stop. Gold doesn't have earnings. I mean, listen, gold hit 1745 8 times this week. 8 times, and they keep beating it back and beating it back and beating it back. It's just, I know what we're battling here. You know it. The equity markets, the vaccine du jour, we're all going to be fine. Well, what if we're not going to be fine? Are you willing to risk your future and your family's future and your grandchildren's future? Because, I think this is, just going to pass and it's all a lie and it's all to get everybody under control. Well, what if it isn't? What if 150 million people are dead a year from now? The economy is completely destroyed, and nobody will take your paper, nobody will take your plastic, and nobody will take anything except real money so they can restock their shelves. Worst case scenario? Absolutely. So you want to plan for it, plan for the worst, and hope for the best. Call us 1-800-951-0592. I put everything I own into hard assets, everything. I believe that much right now that they can't fix this. It cannot be fixed.
I want to be clear. There's only 15 of those MS62s at $2,050, and I think we've got 10 mini bags of those BU Morgans. That's it. And those are at, $4,000?
Every day we search for you. So, by the way, I would highly recommend you calling and adding to your portfolio today. You'll sleep better this weekend. God bless everybody. Thank you for the tremendous support we receive in here. We work very hard to get you the true and correct news as we see it. I'm just kidding. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there and, take it easy. Be kind to each other. We'll be back Monday. Good Lord willing.